So this is how you import and export assets and reduce their workload so they can be optimized for all devices and not feel too heavy. I should say that this tutorial is mostly for environment designers, not developers, and it is meant to be for beginners. So let's say there's an asset that you would like to import into your stage. We're gonna go to Wonderland Resource Center. And once it's open, look for the asset you would like to import. I have an asset over here that I would like to add to my stage. Now I want to go to download the resource over here, download resources. Click on it, save the file where you want to save it so you can remember where it is. Click save. Now you want to go back to the game and you want to go to your stage. And now I would like to import the asset. You want to go to the menu over on the top left of the screen, open it up, and a few lines down, you're going to find Manage Asset Import/Export. Going to click on it, and now we need to import the asset. Once you're here, you want to open up the file where you saved the asset. Now you go to the file and you take a copy of it. Close the window. Now you want to click on Load External Assets on the bottom right of the screen and click Open Directory. And this is going to open up the file that we need to put the asset in order for it to be imported in the game. So we click on Open Directory and paste our asset over here. Close the window and now you click Load External Assets. It should be loaded and it should be over here. Now you want to select it and click on Transfer Selected Assets. Now you click Confirm. It should be transferred successfully into your game. Now you exit this tab and it should be onto your stage. So this is how you import the asset. So now that you have a prefab that you would like to export as an asset, you want to click on that prefab, make sure it's selected, right click on the asset, and you want to click on Export Entity. Once that window is open, you want to name the file. Let's say we're going to name it White Dragon. You want to click on Save. Now it should be exported to the file that you saved it in. And now it should be over here where you saved it. This is how you export. And now I'm going to tell you how to reduce the memory load when you import an asset that feels too heavy. As you can see here, there is a yellow warning. It says near overload. When you click on it, it shows you that the calculate load, the near load limit is 9 areas. This means that 9 areas of this stage are nearly loaded, and that means that some older devices or some devices that can run the game may struggle when it comes to rendering the objects in the distance. So if you want to reduce that in order to optimize your stage for other devices, you want to start by reducing the memory load. My favorite first step is to try and reduce the amount of terrain blocks we have. This is one of the simplest ways to reduce the workload, and my favorite method is to replace the terrain color with another material or object that has the same color, which in our case we have many. In the Entity Placement tab, you want to click on it. Up there, you want to go to Static Units, go to Rock. You're going to find a lot of alternatives, for example, to the green terrain. We also have a desert-like terrain. In that case, we can scroll down and find a rock platform. This is the closest to the other terrain. For example, for the sand terrain, we may replace it with orange rock platforms or the brown ones. As for the grass terrains, we can replace them with other green rock platforms, which we have many of. Some have crooks, some don't. Very flexible. And for the stone terrain, we have a lot of replacements such as roofs or square stones. So many we can use. In my case, my asset is pretty snowy, so I replaced the terrain with white rocks so they can act as a flooring, and I added on top of them some snow piles as decorations to give that feeling. Now, in order to reduce my file's workload, I would like to delete the terrain now that I also replaced it with white flooring. Right click and click delete and confirm delete. Now the yellow warning sign should be gone. The second method is to check if there is a heavy dynamic object consuming all that memory load. In my case, after deleting the terrain, the yellow warning sign is still there. That's because the prefab or the asset I imported is a dynamic unit, which is pretty heavy. A dynamic object can take VFX and custom variables and a lot of programmable stuff that is pretty flexible and can add a lot of motion and animation to so many objects. But since this is a decorative piece and might not need any VFX, we are going to turn it into a static unit. But since we can't do it here, we need to do it in the prefab library. Now over here, when you click on the asset, now you can edit whether it should be dynamic or a static unit. So static, and then confirm. So now this asset does not take any VFX or custom variables, and now you can save it. You want to save it by either overwriting and saving this prefab, which will change the prefab already in our entity placement. So now, as you can see, it says static units. As you can see here, warning sign should be gone. So this was my second favorite method to reduce the workload. So this is how you import and export your assets to your stages and reduce their workload so they don't feel too heavy on all devices. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you can support me by downloading this asset. Thank you. If you guys would like any other tutorials on how I design my environments, feel free to comment down below and I'll be so happy to help. Thank you for watching, and good night.